Welcome into Blake Street Banter. Welcome into the Week 1 recap pod. Eli, how are you, man?
I'm better. I'm better than I would have been if that game had gone differently. How about you, man?
I'm feeling much the same way. Going home 1-5 would have been, that would have been crushing, man. And opening day would have still been awesome, fired everyone up, but 2-4 feels a whole lot better.
2-4 feels like 4-2 after the first 5 innings of that game.
Yeah, the Rockies are undefeated when we strike out 17 times. So maybe maybe that's our strategy moving forward. I don't know.
I like it. I like it. No, I don't. Let's not do that. No, it's
So we'll get to the bad first because naturally that came first. Opening day down in Miami, 3-game series. We're all fired up, ready for the season. I went out on Friday to watch opening day with our good buddy Christian of DNVR. And then Saturday was watching with you and Christian there. But unfortunately, Rocks get swept in Miami, all losing 1-run games, 1-2, and then 3-4 each of the last 2 games of that series. So if you want to look at a silver lining, the Rockies, 1-run losses, at the end, someone said it in our chat, 1-run losses are really wins because at the end of the year, you can say, oh, if they all went the opposite way, this is what our record would be. But, lo and behold, 0-3 in Miami hurt, but the starting pitching stood out. They did really well. It was just the lineup couldn't come through with a big hit.
Yeah. A lot of that. I mean, the runners in scoring position is the stat that we've heard a bunch. I wrote about it the other day. 3 for 20 in Miami. Not close to good enough. I mean, just not being able to move runners, not being able to put the ball in play. I feel like a broken record. We've said it for years. It was disappointing to see it in the last 2 games. I think the last game was 1 for 12, actually. It was really bad in game 3. But yeah, I mean, as much as we like to kind of joke about the 1-run losses, to me, to an extent, it is encouraging, maybe equal parts encouraging and frustrating because you feel like you're right there and you know that the record that's 2-4 could be 4-2. But at the same time, my biggest hope for this team and what I was most excited about was the idea that they were going to be more competitive this year. That may not be a playoff team. They're not going to win 80 games most likely, but I don't feel like there's going to be as many 17-1 or 10-2 losses. And to this point, that has been what we've seen. And I think the biggest part of that, and you and I have talked about it multiple times on the pod, off the pod, is those veteran arms and that rotation raising the floor. And they have done just that. We are through 6 games. Rockies have not allowed more than 5 runs in any game. I think 5 runs they've allowed once, 5 runs once, twice, yeah. But that keeps you in ball games. If those starting pitchers, understand that the length hasn't quite been there, but if they can keep you in games, the bullpen has shown that it's talented enough to hold or at least minimize the damage after the fact. You just got to start swinging the bats.
Yeah, and heading into the season, I didn't want to voice this concern because it felt too early to do it. But anytime the Rockies play at sea level, I don't expect a good offensive series. You look at all the numbers historically, they back that up. And spending spring training in Arizona, I know Phoenix, where Chase Field is maybe the second or third highest elevated ballpark. I know spring training is elsewhere in the state. But you go all the way to sea level. I was not expecting a great offensive series from the Rockies. I think that's exactly what we got. But losing 3 1-run games, while it sucks, I think they got a big weight lifted off their shoulder today, finally being able to win a 1-run game. Because I thought about this analogy earlier in the car, and I probably still haven't smoothed it out, but we're Broncos fans. For the past 5 years, the Broncos were so horrible in 1-score games that this year when they went 12-2 or 13-3 in such games, it brought them up to league average over the last 5-year span. And so a lot of people this year were like, oh, they're 1-score game merchants. They're going to regress to the mean next year. This was actually the Broncos coming to the mean because it had been so bad for all those years. So anyway, my point being, going from a team that loses a lot to a team that wins involves learning how to win and learning how to win close before you ever win big. And I think, the Rockies they're far from being able to consistently win big, although on Monday, gosh, that 14-5 game was just beautiful. But I thought, all in all, it was extremely disappointing to leave Miami 0-3. But if you were to tell me going into the week that we'd return to Coors Field 2-4, I think I would have taken it, honestly.
Yeah, I think I probably would have too. Coming into the week, yeah, you probably think that coming out of Toronto with one win is a success. Winning the series, it feels like I'm ready to party. I don't know. That's awesome. We had to wait till June 1st to win a series last year. We've won a series. It's April 1st, and we are 1-1 in series. It's a step in the right direction at the very least. And I think what you're saying is really important, that it takes time to learn how to win. And in terms of winning consistently, the Rockies aren't there. They're probably a few years from being there, but playing a complete 9-inning ball game and learning how to win in those tight situations does a lot for the confidence of a clubhouse and also the maturity of a team. I think that you can already see the maturity within this group has increased since last year, both from the comments in the preseason and their ability to grind out a game today and stay in games throughout the week. But the next step needs to be that maturity in the batter's box, because guys aren't seeing enough pitches. It's, watching today, very glad they won today. The process was poor. Maybe the worst it's been. Not maybe. It was the worst it has been so far. I mean, all the credit in the world to Kevin Gausman. He's had an incredible start to the year. But I think it was Tyler saying in our chat, the guy's going to throw a splitter, and it's not in the zone super often. And we're chasing first pitches. When you go down 0-1 in a count 12 times in a row to start the game, that's a problem. It's a real one.
And I think you had pointed out they were 0-1 through their, obviously, first 12, but you had said 0-1 through their first 6, and 5 of the 6 had swung at the first pitch, with the one that didn't being Hunter Goodman, who was statistically one of the best players in the sport at first pitch swinging. So they're still working on figuring out their philosophy. I can't use the elevation excuse for their struggles in Toronto. I don't even know the elevation off the top of my head. Someone in the chat help us out. But you mentioning they didn't win their first series last year until at the Marlins, when they got a 3-game sweep with 2 one-run victories. As I'm looking at it, that was either, and I did it quick, that was either their 20th or 21st series of the year. Think about that. They went 0-19 on series through their first 19, and I'm not sure they had a split.
I think you're right. I feel like I remember the number carrying over to the past year, like in the mid-20s. Maybe it was 24 or 25, which is mind-boggling to go that long without winning a series. Not a sweep, winning a series.
Yeah.
So I'm going to bathe in the little victories where I can this year, and taking 2 in Toronto. Yeah, I'm going to soak that one in for a while.
Yeah. And because it's fresh in our mind, we'll shout out the chat. Wild in the chat. Series winner. Felix as well. Great team win today. Tovar making plays overall. We grinded that one out. Let's talk about today's game, because it really was an abnormal one. We've already covered. Rockies struck out a ton. They just were not seeing pitches, and that's been a common theme early this year and for much of the past several years. But the defense has been incredible. And I know the Rockies lost last night, but Tovar made a remarkable play, and then he did it again today. And then we were texting separately a reliever. Actually, you explained the case for a Colorado Rockies reliever winning the Gold Glove Award.
Yeah, definitely a little bit tongue in cheek, but Bernardino today was really phenomenal defensively. And you think of him as a guy who brings veteran presence on the mound, and he certainly does, just in the way he's pitched. He's been great, I think, through 3 appearances. It is now, maybe it's 4 because he had a 1-batter appearance somewhere, but he was phenomenal. But yeah, what we were talking about was he made a couple of really nice plays at a crucial juncture in that ball game. He had the first one with a little dribbler down the first base line where he hesitated on the tag. And a lot of times when you see pitchers in that in between, that's when there's kind of that panic on the flip. Maybe they overthrow it, they underthrow it. It's a kind of an awkward play, and he had no problem, very calm. And then the second one was maybe even more impressive when the ball bounced off Julian's glove into the hands of Ritter. And then Bernardino not only covers the base and gets there, but gets his back foot on the bag on what was kind of a laser from Ritter. He didn't loft it in there. So I was impressed by the defensive acumen from him today, for sure.
Yeah, it was fun to watch, and you never know what to expect. Honestly, through learned experience, I never expect a pitcher to make a play. Of course, Kyle Freeland makes about every play, but it was really cool to see a reliever shine like that. And yeah, so I want to talk process as well. Kyle on the mound today for the Rockies went 5 innings, only gave up a run. Senzatella went 2 innings, struck out 3. He still hasn't given up a run this season, and in total, he has 4 2/3 inning pitched, 2 hits allowed, 1 walk, and 6 strikeouts with no earned runs in his early season appearances. So the Rockies pitching lab and the new strategy has done wonders with him, and we'll talk about him a little bit more later. But on the other side, for the Blue Jays, Gausman went 6 innings, struck out 10. Tyler Rogers came on. He pitched a scoreless 7th, and the Rockies enter the 8th, down a run, 1-0. There hasn't been much of anything going on all day. And I want to talk about the Rockies talk about all offseason, winning in the margins, finding ways to do the little things right to find advantages in a game. And so Kyle Karros led off that 8th inning with a patented professional at bat, a walk. And he was pitch ran for. Jake McCarthy stole second base. Troy Johnston singles on an opposite field just down the line, scores McCarthy to tie up the game. And quite honestly, the Rockies should have taken the lead in that inning because after Hunter Goodman struck out, they got Troy Johnston stole second base when he should have been picked off, but he worked his way around the horrible throw.
Ball too.
Yeah. And then Willie Castro walked. So that set up first and third with 1 out, and you have Tovar coming to the plate. Well, he strikes out. Ryan Ritter strikes out, and they headed to the bottom of the 8th with a tie ball game, number 1, but it kind of felt like they lost the chance to take the lead. And I don't know about you, I'll let you jump in here, but in my gut, I felt like, oh crap, we just set ourselves up for another walk-off, heartbreaking, sad flight home kind of situation. It just was defeating, and I know we were texting throughout the game.
I always feel that way.
Expect the worst.
It's. I hate to sound. I can't find the right word, but I'll just go with negative. When we have a runner on second, I don't really ever feel confident. Second and less than 2 outs, that could really be no outs. It's sad as that sounds, and this is just from a long-term experience. I don't feel real confident that guy is going to score. And so far this year, he hasn't. So far in past years, that hasn't happened. So yeah, it's definitely a kick in the teeth where you feel like, Johnston, going back to the philosophy first, McCarthy stealing second, that base running has made such a big difference. A lot of their runs have come from those stolen bases. And I would love to see how successful this philosophy can be if they can get on base. If you can get on base and actually do that, 5 or 6 times a game instead of 2 or 3 because nobody's on base. You get on base and everybody's running. Goody's running, Tovar's run, Karros' run, McCarthy runs. Doyle doesn't have a steal yet, I don't think. So get on base more and you can do that more. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. Yeah, it's a kick in the teeth when you get bailed out by Johnston, getting picked off, but getting out of it. Then he's on third. And you've got the middle of the order coming up, and all you have to do is just put a ball in the air, productive outs. winning in the margins, if you will. It's makes you feel like I think the only other time I can think of in this game was in the 5th inning when Tovar had a base hit, and then there was the fielder's choice, and you've got first and second with no outs in top of the 5th, 1-0 game. I want him to bunt. I don't care who's hitting, unless your name is Hunter Goodman. In my eyes, you bunt every single time. I have not seen enough proof that guys can get hits, much less put the ball in play. Make the defense make a play, and then give yourself 2 chances to put a ball in the air and get out of a double play. I think that more small ball will be necessary if they can't get the hits, and that's just the reality.
I know if Aaron was here, he'd play devil's advocate and say the bunt is dead. Whether he believes it or not, he would just want to pull more reasoning out of you. But yeah, I mean, I'm trying to remember the last time I saw a successful Rockies squeeze bunt to score run. And I know you weren't asking for a squeeze situation, but it really does feel like that just hasn't been a tool in their tool bag for multiple years. Wild. I got Bud Black's flashback when we went to extras. Yeah, it felt like we were every time we went to extras on the road with Buddy managing it, whether it was his fault or not, it was just unlucky. Maybe it didn't feel like it ended well. Real quick, Wild. Kyle Freeland, Kevin Gausman, Tyler Rogers. It was like we were watching a Colorado high school all-star game. I knew that they were from Colorado, but neither Eli or I went to high school in Colorado. So I wish we could fully understand the lore and maybe place them at where they might have gone. But yeah, the Rockies then in extra innings got the run across thanks to Tyler Freeman, which what an awesome way to start your season. You come off the bench and deliver the game-winning hit, and you're on the plane ride home batting 1,000. How do you think that feels for him?
It doesn't get better than that, does it? God, and Tyler's such a great guy, and it's what he does. He puts the ball in play, and man, I've missed him these last 6 games. He's the guy who doesn't strike out. He puts the ball in play. It's why everybody loved him so much last year, because he just doesn't strike out, and he went down early in this count, and he shortened up. He put the ball up the middle. It feels great for him. Really made me put my foot in my mouth a little bit. I was texting the chat for a while before that, and I was begging for them to keep McCarthy in and bunt and then pinch hit Freeman, and I was less than happy when I saw they were going to swing away. And I think I responded to myself in the chat and said, "Shut up, nerd." And that's why, but it's awesome. And if I may pivot for a second while it's on my mind, looking ahead, we've got Mickey Moniak coming back likely this Friday.
Ooh.
I think that the roster decisions get more interesting than perhaps we had imagined prior. I'll ask you, when Mickey comes back, who do you think goes down?
I mean, I don't see the Rockies continuing to carry 3 catchers.
Fulford went down this morning.
Oh, you're right. He did for Freeman.
Yeah, he was the Freeman guy.
Dang, I tried to take the easy out. Well, what happened with Feltner? Did they put him on the injured list?
Sounds like he's good. From the interviews, he said that he wanted to go back out. And
okay. Gosh, then you're going to have to send someone down before they really even got a chance to get started. I don't think they're going to DFA anyone this early in the year. So
I agree with you. And that's for anybody saying Edouard Julien, it's not happening. He's out of options. Everyone relax. It's been 6 games.
Yeah, I mean, he would naturally slide into the outfield spot. It would suck, but like, what is Ryan Ritter providing you on the bench? I don't know. Is that where you were going to go?
I think that's the right answer. Sorry if Lewis is here, and I like Ryan. It's not a Ryan Ritter. It's not me. He's played some awesome defense. He hasn't really done anything wrong per se. Yeah. But coming into the season, the idea was Johnston would have started in AAA had Freeman made the roster. But I think I said it a few weeks ago on the pod, Troy Johnston had an opportunity to take this spot and grab it. And I think at least for the time being, I kind of feel like he's done that. I think he's forced their hand a little bit in the sense that other guys aren't hitting.
Yeah.
And he is. And sending Ritter down doesn't necessarily rob you of another middle infielder because now Tyler Freeman's back. You have another guy that can play second if need be. Maybe less versatility at short, but Willie's going to play everywhere. If they need a short, Willie will play there. So, yeah, I kind of think Troy Johnson's going to stay up, and I kind of think Ryan Ritter is going to be the scapegoat in this scenario, which is unfortunate, but
yeah. Well, and it's results based, and I know he hasn't not given the results, but you take Ezekiel Tovar out of the equation, the two Rockies that have hit the ball are TJ Rumfield and Troy Johnston. So you can't take Johnston out when he's been one of your three most productive players with the bat, as Wild mentioned. Such a pretty play from Ritter today. Yeah, the talent is definitely not a question with Ritter. I just don't see a clear path for him to play as much as he needs to play to continue to develop at the big league level. And then someone else in the chat mentioned how many Rockies first basemen were there today. There's Johnston, Willie Castro played there, Rumfield played there, Julian as well played there. So that's 4. And I don't think I'm missing anyone. But yeah, and I'm bringing that up because Johnston also played 3 different positions today. Right field, first base. Then he went back to right field and finished the game on left field. So when you have someone that is swinging the bat, also, by the way, out of the leadoff spot today, going 2 for 4, and then having the defensive versatility that he does, yeah, I'm not going to send him down over a Ryan, in place of a Ryan Ritter. And that's nothing against Ritter.
No, and I think him batting leadoff today speaks to the fact that you and I aren't just talking out of the side of our necks right now, that it's likely that the organization feels the same way, and that left-handed bat matters. Another left-handed bat matters, as we've seen from the way that they're trying to play matchups this year. Everybody is going to get in that bat if there is a reason for everyone to get in that bat, and having the left-handed option does matter.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm glad you brought that up, though, because I had not considered, like, wow, Mickey's coming back. We're going to have to do something. That certainly that's important. So I'm excited to see what they do. I think we probably have it right, but if they surprise us, it'll be interesting to see which direction they go. Before we look ahead to the home opener and the exciting week for Colorado as a whole, was there anyone across the Rockies' first 6 games that you feel we're underreacting to, like they're doing really well, we're not talking about it, or maybe we're overreacting to someone else in their performance?
I'll see if I can find you one of both. Let me look real fast. Do you have anybody in mind while I try and make this decision, or should I just look?
No. I have a couple off the top of my head. We talked about Senzatella. That dude has been amazing, and for all the he gets a lot of online hate, so it feels only right that we give him some praise. I know I said the numbers earlier, but the dude, 4 2/3, no earned, 6 Ks, and a strikeout. I would not have believed you last year if you said that he'd have 6 Ks and 4 2/3. It felt like it took him 3 starts to get 6 strikeouts. So
unbelievable, man.
What were you? Do you remember Alone saying anything to the media about the changes they've made? Because I know Tyler was saying that they, the vertical carry on his fastball is different. He's throwing it with different shapes, but I can't remember if it's anything specific, and it's probably above my pay grade.
I know they experimented with some different things. I'm trying to pull up the pitch mix and usage right now. I should have it right here.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second.
And I can give you my other player if you're not ready.
I have the Senza right in front of me before I forget. Perfect. So last year he threw the sinker less than 1% of the time. He has thrown it 16% of the time so far this year. The 4-seam was 57% of the time. Now it's only 42, and the velo has picked up on average, and this is likely, coming out of the pen, but the velo has picked up from 95 on average to 97.4. And once again, above my pay grade. But if you look at the stuff plus, which is kind of, an accumulation of all the things we talk about, last year the fastball was 89, which is unspeakably bad. It's up to 108 this year, which is an unfathomable jump. I mean, pitch usage is different, the shapes are different. Shout out to the new brain trust and Antonio as well, because that is a phenomenal, crazy.
Yeah, anytime you go from 10% below average to almost 10% above average year over year, that's pretty remarkable. And I'm glad you brought up the sinker because I knew that's what it was. Throwing the sinker more kind of doubles as a fastball with a different shape. And Antonio, early in his career when he had success, always had that fastball with great carry. So I'm not surprised that going to the bullpen helped, obviously you mentioned, get the velo back and then get some of that carry back. But the sinker has played big dividends for him early in the year. And then the other guy that I've just been remarkably impressed by, and I'm not saying I'm surprised by it because I kind of expected it, but TJ Rumfield. So far, the guy's hitting 429 with a 1.097 OPS. We went 1 for 3 today. So, I mean, those two figures, is that any good for you?
It's TJ's been unbelievable. And we saw it all spring, but it's one thing to see it in spring. It's a different thing when you're under the bright lights and you are starting on opening day. And he's done nothing but show up the entire time. I mean, he looks so comfortable. I don't really worry about the guy because he takes professional at bats and he looks like he's ready to be here. He's not somebody who, as Warren Schaefer likes to say, looks like he needs more seasoning. That's a Major League Baseball player. And how exciting is that? The new front office comes in and makes that move and just immediately it pays dividends.
And the guy they traded away, Angel Chivy, he's in AAA with the Yankees. And it doesn't look like he's given up a run yet. So good. He's only pitched in one game, 1.1 innings, but that's it. The Rockies made a low risk move by sending Angel away, bringing in TJ, and look at the role he's playing early. It's moves like that set you up for more wins later in the year.
Exactly. I'll be the bad guy and talk about some of the not so good. Immediately, the two names that stand out to me are Willie Castro and Jake McCarthy. Yeah. And a lot of that comes with hitting in the leadoff spot and the third spot. You are going to be susceptible to more criticism from talking heads such as myself. McCarthy, I don't feel like is seeing enough pitches. And this is not me saying I am worried about Jake McCarthy per se. I'm sure he's going to figure it out. He has still been fantastic on the base paths. But like Wild said in the chat, and I texted you about it on Sunday, took a bad route on a ball and left for the final out, which should have been the final out in Miami. Not an easy play, but one that should be made, and obviously came back to haunt them in the worst way. But for me, yeah, if you're going to be hitting leadoff, you got to be seeing more pitches. And he's been a bit better with it the last couple of days in those at bats, so hopefully that continues. And if it doesn't, then you hit him ninth, and you put some speed at the bottom of the order, and hopefully he gets on a bit more. Willie Castro has probably been the most disappointing player for me to this point. In terms of what they need from him, they need Willie to hit 270, 280. He doesn't have to hit 20 home runs, but he has to, at the very least, be hitting balls hard or putting it in play, and he's not. I mean, he could not have hit that with I'm not even going to try and make the analogy. It was rough. Today was rough. He looked lost up there. He's a veteran. He's been doing it a long time. He looked great in the spring. Again, I'm not worried in the long term, but in the interim, I don't think you can keep sending him up there and just hitting him third. I don't think you can just have him in Sharpie hitting third anymore. And hopefully when Mickey comes back, they reconfigure that a little bit. But yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing like Tovey hit second, Goody hit third, Moniak hit fourth, and then figure the rest out from there. Like have those three set and then figure it out.
Yeah. first with Jake McCarthy, he was the name I had in my mind to call out. I put that in air quotes for those listening to the podcast version. He, when you're not hitting the ball and you're in the leadoff spot, you're already in a ditch, and then making one defensive misplay that ends up having a direct effect on the win-loss column, yeah, that's going to make you stand out. As for Willie, it's always finicky. And this goes for any of the players that are struggling. We could have called a lot of guys out, and we didn't. It's kind of finicky to say anything before we see them play at home, because we know the Rockies' home-away split is as big as any for any player and any team in the sport. So even before Nolan went to the Cardinals, there was stuff about like, oh, the Cardinals overpaid. This guy can only hit at Coors Field, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, he didn't have postseason success with St. Louis, but he was still a pretty good player. So I'm excited to watch them hit at home. We're being critical because it's a 6-game sample size. What else are we supposed to go off of? So for those at home, none of this should be taken too seriously. Don't have a vendetta against anyone out there. But speaking of finally getting to see these guys at home, Eli, I'll let you run through it. But opening day on Friday might be cold here. I don't know what's going on with the weather, but what are you looking forward to most, man?
Oh man, I only got to go to my first Rockies opening day last year, and that was cold. That was snow. That was in my gloves. A little different. I was on the rooftop with the Coors in my gloves, watching us lose to the A's in extra innings. So fingers crossed it goes a little better this year. But I'm always just excited to see the fans and I don't know if I want to say renewed sense of optimism, but we're 6 games into the season. Anything can happen, so people are excited. Seeing everyone back in the house it's great. Course is packed, the energy's good, and people are excited. So I'm always just excited to be around Rockies fans prior to when things historically have gotten more difficult and people's moods are not maybe as optimistic.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I've never been to an opening day, Rockies or anywhere in Major League Baseball, so I'm extremely excited. I'll be working, of course, so it's not like I'll be up on the rooftop with the Coors in my hand.
Tell the people where to find you when you're there.
Yeah, if you guys want to be super cool and see a great guy with a smile on his face walking in the ballpark, go through Gate D, the home plate gate. I'll be there to greet you in my soon-to-be acquired Purple Rockies polo. But
and khaki slacks.
Yeah, yep. I got the whole uniform figured out after a little journey today, but all is well. Wild says he's most excited for the pizza donuts, and to my knowledge, you have a little bit more to share in the food in that department.
I don't know that I have more to share yet. I will be putting some stuff out tomorrow. I am fortunate enough to be able to get to Coors tomorrow afternoon for a little bit and try out some of the new foods. So anybody who doesn't follow me on Twitter, handle's right here. You want a sneak peek, you will see it there. I am more excited than I'm happy to admit about these pizza donuts. Will definitely be. I mean, it all looks good. It's the pizza donuts. There's the crazy cinnamon roll with ice cream. They've got this crazy 2-foot hot dog with mac and cheese on it, but it's got a crazy name, and I have to find it really fast. It's absurd. Goodness gracious.
Well, I remember when they had the Polar Pizza, and I did a whole review on that in 2024 with different fans interviews and all that. I said Polar Pasta. I was worried I said Polar Pizza at first, but man, that could be something too. But the Polar Pasta, that was a hit. The spider, the noodles were, I said spider, ice cream. The ice cream noodles with, I don't know what was on top of it. It was like chocolate syrup, but I did not see the stand when I went last year. So I don't know if that's still there.
Yeah, well, if you're missing that, you can always try the Glizzilla. That is what we're operating. The
all right,
Glizzilla. Man. Yeah, that's
all right.
it's Verbatim.
Who came up with that? Who came up with that? Shout out Sean. Oh my gosh. I liked seeing Noah in the background of DNVR's opening day watch along. You're a dog. How did you I was there for, I almost went on the show late, but then the Duke game got crazy. So I was there to watch college hoops and opening day. But Sean, shout out, man. Golly, that's awesome. But and then Wild, what percentage of the opening day fans do you guys will not return for the rest of the season? 70%.
I plead the fifth.
Yeah. We'll just leave that where it is. But also, why? I know we talked about it last week, but you listed all the foods you're excited to try, and you didn't mention the 999.
It's not happening. The more I hear about how this thing actually works, it's a disgrace. It's one beer.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could wash down your Glizilla with the 999. Yeah. I might have to do another video. One of us will have to do a video review on the big hot dog. That's all.
We're gonna have we gotta split it, dude. It's 2 feet long. We can collab on a.
Is that an April Fool's? Did we get got?
No. I think he's talking about the 999. No, the Glizilla is.
Oh.
I would be devastated. No, this is an article from like 6 days ago.
Could you imagine if you got on the Glizilla?
Yeah, Aaron, you got to watch the whole pod to watch us get comfortable today. You say you want us to be. Here's your weekly Easter egg, Aaron. It's the Glizilla. 37 minutes in. Yeah.
He'll enjoy it. I think before we leave, we're required to make our picks and predictions for the upcoming week. So the Rockies open up with 3 games against Philadelphia, and then they're at home for 3 games against the Astros. Get your buy one, get one hot dogs on Monday, by the way. And then we're going to go live, I believe, next Thursday. So let's just make our picks for the next 6 games. You can go first, but first home stand of the year. What do you got?
I want to say something fun so bad, but let's go 2-4.
2-4.
I hope I'm wrong.
Do you think we win a series, or are we spreading those wins out across? Yeah, spread them out. Yeah, I mean, the schedule makers did us no favors. I know Rockies entered the year bottom of the league, but everyone plays everyone in baseball. It's not like NFL. And it just feels like all of April and May is a gauntlet of postseason teams. But I get passionate about when the Rockies beat Bryce Harper ever since he called the whole organization poverty. His words, not mine. So I hope we can take 2 out of 3 from Philadelphia. I don't remember the last time we beat the Astros in a series. They've owned us for a long time. So I'm going to say 3-3, optimistically in air quotes, but 3-3, you got 2-4. So, I mean, the longer the Rockies can stay closer to 500, we talked about this last week, it's a good thing. Last year, I want to say the Rockies were 1-6 and then 3-13. Those are the 2 points I remember checking the standings and be like, holy cow, it's not even May and it's done. So, yeah, if they go 3-3, that puts them, 2 more, still at 2 games under 500. So
just give me a reason to care in July. I'll keep saying it.
Yeah.
Let me care.
I miss scoreboard watching, and I know that's a long way away, but the longer this goes on and the longer I can check the wild card standings and say, oh, 2 games back, 3 games back, then I'm just going to continue to be the happiest fan in the world, quite honestly.
Oh, I have a question for you.
Yeah, shoot.
It can either be an over, under, or do you think we see any Moneyball related Colorado Rockies signs at the home opener? Do we get any Coors Ball? Do we get anything going like that?
I think yeah. If that would take a fan that's been paying attention, but like I think it's possible. I think this year it is. And Christian mentioned that they're hosting that pregame party. I think that'll bring in some diehards.
Win Coop
With it.
Brewing, if anybody's looking to meet with people before via the NVR.
Good shout out. I did not remember where it was. So yeah, that sounds like a ton of fun. I might be able to swing through too before my call time. But I think so. That's a great question. What do you think so? Do you think that's going to be in the building?
There's got to be one, right? One feels like the bare minimum. Maybe there's more, but that was like all we talked about in the chat for like a day or two, and I feel like it's been, and maybe we don't utilize it as much because, Paul DePodesta didn't give, the naming rights for it in the movie, and it's not totally him, but what if they made one about the 2026 Rockies?
Be one hell of a story. Yesterday, I believe it was yesterday, Willie Castor was at first base for the first time in like 2 years or something. And someone sent the screen grab of when they were interviewing the guy to come play first. I don't care how you feel. You just need to hit the ball. It's perfect.
It's my favorite. It's the Brad Pitt scene. I quote it with my buddy. My buddies, even before the DePodesta hire, are so tired of me quoting Moneyball at every juncture of life. But yeah, it's the playing first versus easy, Wash. Tell him, Wash. It's incredibly hard. It's like,
yeah. I love it. The Moneyball vibes keep the Rockies up. It was cool seeing Tyler Freeman. I mean, he said post game, this is who we're going to be. We're never going to quit. We're going to be gritty. I know Aaron's kind of hidden team, secondary team, AL team, whatever he likes to call it, the Gritty Tigers. He'd probably be pretty excited about the Rockies rebranding or bringing the gritty to their descriptor. But we both predict a pretty exciting week of baseball at Coors Field. We'll both be there for a lot of it. So if you're in the chat, just tweet at BSB. I remember in 2024 when I was there for the summer, meeting a number of you guys, and that was awesome. So be sure to do that. Or if you don't want to tweet BSB, you can tweet Eli himself at
Eli Whitney without an I, as usual. 17 on Twitter.
That was kind of a smooth plug.
Yeah, no, that was well done. I sold you a little bit. That's on me.
Aaron and I used to kind of compete with that, but I'm still getting back to it. You can find me at Noah Spyrick, and of course all the articles at Blake Street Banter. Eli's as well. He's been doing awesome work. Eli, anything else for the good of the cause?
Let's get gritty in the Mile High City.
Ooh, okay, that's a bar. I like that. We'll leave you guys with that, man. Enjoy an awesome week of Rockies baseball, and we will be live again on Thursday of this upcoming week to talk Rockies with you guys. Thank you to Sean, Wild, Felix in the chat. Thanks for joining us, guys, and we will see you next week.